All right, listen up. We're going to cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. People are force-fed beliefs without ever being given the chance to question them. The notion of a religious God is shoved down their throats even before they can think critically. It's brainwashing, plain and simple. Kids inherit their parents' religion, not because they've explored all the options, but because questioning is discouraged. These so-called truths are repeated so often that people start to believe they're real. But here's the point. Feelings aren't facts. The belief in a religious God has persisted, not because there's solid evidence, but because it's constantly pushed by culture, authority, and fear. When you step back and look at it, this belief is more about emotional comfort than rational proof. Throughout history, thousands of gods have been worshipped, each one thought to be the ultimate truth. But guess what? None of them stood the test of time. They faded away like old, outdated maps. Here's a basic principle. The person making a claim has to prove it. It's called the burden of proof. If someone says there's an invisible dragon in their garage, it's on them to prove it exists. But when it comes to your religious God, the rules are flipped. People are told they have to believe in it, unless they can prove it doesn't exist. That's messed up. When you look at nature, you see complexity, randomness, and indifference. Hurricanes don't care if you go to a big church. Diseases don't skip over Asian believers. Animals don't follow Jewish commandments. The universe doesn't change whether we pray or not. The laws of physics are consistent. They don't respond to faith, reward morality, or punish evil. They just do their thing, no matter what we want. Some people say the universe is so finely tuned that it must have had a creator. Yes, the creator was and is, but not the religious God. The true creator is beyond our comprehension, beyond our understanding. It is the fundamental force that drives the universe, the energy that flows through all things. It is the very fabric of existence itself. There's the moral argument. Lots of people say we need a religious God to have a basis for morality. But that's nonsense. Morality exists in secular societies too. In fact, countries with higher rates of atheism tend to have lower crime, better education, and stronger healthcare. Look at Africa. It's the opposite of that. Too much religion, little basics. People don't need the fear of divine punishment to behave ethically. Empathy, cooperation, and social well-being are way better motivators than ancient laws carved in stone. Morality isn't handed down from above. It evolves and grows as societies learn what helps and what harms. The existence of thousands of different religions across time and culture shows how adaptable the idea of a religious God is. In one culture, a god demands blood sacrifice. In another, it preaches nonviolence. In one, it's a jealous ruler. In another, it's in charge of mountains. If all these gods contradict each other and yet are all equally believed, it tells us more about human psychology than about divine truth. People believe what they're taught, what they need, what gives them comfort. But that doesn't make it true. The concept of a religious God often looks a lot like the people who invented it. These gods have preferences, enemies, commandments, emotions, and flaws. They reward loyalty, demand obedience, and punish dissent. They mirror kings, not the creator of galaxies. If religious gods were truly above human comprehension, then religious texts wouldn't be filled with human concerns like property laws, dietary rules, and sexual taboos. These are societal controls dressed up in sacred language. People often turn to God in times of crisis, pain, or grief. The mind reaches for answers, and the heart looks for comfort. The point to understand is the brain is good at making patterns, even where there are none. It's better at soothing itself than seeking truth. Some say their religious God must exist because so many people believe, but that's a load of crap. Truth isn't a popularity contest. Millions of people used to believe the earth was flat. That didn't make it true. The number of believers says more about social pressure and tradition than about reality. People are afraid of death, so they believe in heaven. They're afraid of meaninglessness, so they believe in plans. They're afraid of chaos, so they create order through myths. The world doesn't need more faith. It needs more courage to face reality as it is, with the real divine in sight. Life becomes even more precious, not less. It becomes urgent, not meaningless. And in that urgency, we find a reason to care, to love, to protect, and to question. We don't need gods to do that. We just need to be human. The true God isn't the God of religion. The true God is beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond theory. This is the eternal source behind the universe, energy, consciousness, and all that exists. This is the God that has always been there, whether we believe in it or not. This is the God that we should awaken to, the God that we are revealing through enlightenment, not opinion. Religious systems have distorted the true nature of the divine. They have taken the concept of the true God and twisted it to fit their own agendas, creating a false God that serves their purposes. Those false gods are constructs, fabrications designed to control and manipulate. It is not the eternal source of all that is, but a shadow of the true reality. The religious systems that have dominated human history have done a great disservice to the true nature of the divine. They have taken a concept that is beyond human comprehension and reduced it to a set of rules and rituals. They have created a false God that demands obedience and punishes dissent, a God that is more concerned with maintaining its own power than with guiding humanity to truth. But the true God is not concerned with power or control as a matter of fact. Why would it concern itself with control? And it is the existence itself. In conclusion, the true God is not the God of religion, but the eternal source of all that is. Please subscribe, like, and share.